Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Kim Harp, and I am the Bee's Development Manager. I've been a part of what we call the Bee Team, which is the full-time staff of the Scripps National Spelling Bee, for 3.5 years, and I live here in the Cincinnati area. The Bee and our parent company, EW Scripps, is headquartered here. We're here today to discuss how and why to enroll in the Scripps National Spelling Bee. And my colleague Tyler is going to walk through the enrollment process at spellingbee.com and give you some tips for your school spelling bee program. As we go through today's webinar, please feel free to leave questions using the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. We'll hopefully have time at the end to answer some of your questions live, but we're also very grateful to have members of the Bee's customer service team helping us out today, and they're ready to answer your questions throughout the presentation as well. The Scripps National Spelling Bee has inspired generations of students for more than 100 years. It's ingrained in our culture and society as one of the nation's oldest, most beloved events and has impacted millions of lives. For students who participate in the program, from the school bee to the regional bee to the national bee, it's a no-lose situation as they compete against the dictionary, not so much against each other. They're winning either way as they learn and grow throughout this impactful program. This is why we still exist today. The impact of this program has not changed over the decades. This program leaves a positive and lasting impact on so many students and families. It's relatable to our own childhood. Everyone has a spelling bee story, right? We want that to continue for generations to come. So we're so glad you're here and interested in helping us continue this tradition. Thank you for supporting your students and giving them this opportunity. I'm going to kick it off with a video to show you how it all works.
The Scripps National Spelling Bee is a worldwide phenomenon. Starting out with millions of spellers in more than 20,000 schools. Wait, hold up. Want to see where the bee really starts? Here, in a secure vault in the basement of this unassuming building in Springfield, Massachusetts, evil geniuses toil away, defining more than 500,000 possible words. From those, the bee selects 4,000 to let loose on unsuspecting spellers all across the world, where dedicated teachers and our generous regional partners use them in spelling bees. Classroom winners go on to compete for grade-level titles. Grade-level winners go on to compete for school titles. And those champion spellers move on to the regional competition. It's the circle of spelling. Or something less likely to result in a copyright lawsuit. The best of the best descends upon National Harbor, Maryland for Bee Week. Here, the speller journey narrows from the prelims to the quarterfinals to the semifinals and ultimately the finals. Every speller is a winner, but there can be only one Scripps National Spelling Bee champion to truly claim I rule the word.
Now you see how it all fits together. So that video is on our YouTube page, so feel free to share it with others at your school or district or friends or whoever you'd like. So for those of you who have enrolled in the past, you're already aware of the benefits your school and your spellers receive. We've heard from so many bee coordinators over the years who find these resources to be user-friendly and everything they need to run a successful school spelling bee program. They love offering this program to their students, not only to increase their knowledge of words and vocabulary through a fun academic competition, but also to build students' confidence, public speaking skills, poise under pressure, sportsmanship skills, and more. Our program touches more than 20,000 schools like yours across the U.S. and beyond, with millions of students participating in over 70,000 classrooms. So when you enroll your school in our program, all the students at your school have the ability to participate in the spelling bee program, which may include classroom spelling bees or grade level spelling bees, as well as a school level spelling bee. Your school spelling bee champion's path to the regional competition is included as part of your school's enrollment. And that path could take your school champion all the way to the national competition in Washington, D.C. Enrollment opened on August 19th, and it will run through January 30th. Elementary and middle schools are eligible to enroll with us, and our program is specifically designed for students in first through eighth grade. The enrollment fee is $199. That's throughout the entire enrollment period, and this is payable by credit card or check. We do not accept purchase orders. So once your school has enrolled, you'll want to identify a school bee coordinator who will lead the planning efforts of your school's program. Your school bee coordinator will use the resources available in the online school portal at spellingbee.com to coordinate your school spelling bee. There's how-to guides and trainings for school bee coordinators, including the school spelling bee checklist and Spelling Bee 101, a comprehensive guide to our program. Also, the 2026 classroom competition list for administering classroom spelling bees, and the 2026 school competition list for administering this school spelling bee. Supplemental vocabulary materials for classroom and school levels. Also, award certificate templates that can be customized for classroom, grade level, or school spelling bees. And new this year, written test materials, including teacher instructions, student answer forms, and grading keys. School bee coordinators access these materials through the online portal and distribute these materials to other educators at their school. Also, the Beehive newsletter. You can sign up for this free e-newsletter for updates and information designed specifically for educators. That includes fun activities and more. This is sent out via email twice per month. Please keep in mind that the Beehive newsletter can be shared throughout your school. There's not a limit per school or district as to who can sign up for this newsletter. So your school portal also includes study lists for students with spellings and definitions for grades 1 through 8. Then your school champion can study from the Words of the Champions, our 4,000 word study resource for your school spelling bee champion, which is updated every year. This year's study list includes even more activities, word puzzles, and information about language patterns and roots to help your students gain an even deeper understanding through their spelling bee study. Every student at your school is eligible to download the free Word Club app, which gives your spellers the opportunity to study spelling and vocabulary through games and puzzles on a smartphone or tablet. We've also worked with 2 educational partners to provide offers to your school as a benefit of your school spelling bee enrollment. From Encyclopedia Britannica, your school will receive a one-year subscription to Britannica Kids, which is a $74.95 value, to award to a participant in your school spelling bee program. You can even get a second free subscription if you enroll before September 30th. New this year, we're also working with Newsomatic, a digital news platform for K through 8 students that offers daily, age-appropriate articles about current events across 5 reading levels and 6 languages. It features a library of over 16,000 nonfiction articles, enhanced with multimedia activities that boost literacy, spark curiosity, and build global awareness. As part of our partnership with Newsomatic, all schools enrolled with a Bee will receive a free 30-day trial to their platform, along with a 35% discount on an annual subscription for your entire school. That's more than $500 as a benefit of Spelling Bee enrollment. In case you want to go back through them, these enrollment benefits are all listed on our website at spellingbee.com/enroll. Separate from the school enrollment fee are the following free resources. So let me know in the chat if you're familiar with these. The Great Words, Great Works reading list with all source books for the school spelling bee study list, organized by grade level so that your students can read their spelling bee study words within the context of great stories. The Bees Bookshelf. This is the official book club for the Scripps National Spelling Bee, and it's a fun way for your students to engage with the words as they're studying. I I've heard from educators all over the country, including our 2025 Educator of the Year, Nikki Montana from Philadelphia, that the Spelling Bee program allows students to really shine and it sets them on a path to success. To learn more about Nikki and the way that she leads the bee at her school, check out her video linked in the chat, and it's also on our YouTube channel. Now, let's hear what another educator, David Haluga, he's an assistant principal at Ayer Elementary here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and he loves the bee program.
I just think the spelling bee is a great opportunity for a school to get excited about its students, right? We want the whole community, parents, teachers, community partners to be excited about the capabilities of their kids and the achievements that they can reach. And spelling bee is a great way to show off all that kids can do. Yeah, the spelling bee is an amazing opportunity for a unique um, set of kids to come out of their shell. I think the opportunity for some of our students to have their first uh, moment on stage in front of a microphone, in front of a camera, in front of a crowd is great for them. But we've seen kids build resilience and overcome stage fright and fight back against the worry and the anxiety that comes with competition. But we've also seen kids develop friendships and work through flexing the muscle of empathy as they cheer each other on through difficulty, through taking risks, and through making mistakes. I think the Spelling Bee as an organization uh, is fantastic at supporting administrators and school staff such as myself at who want to put together an event, that want to put together as many moments that are meaningful for students, right? School is a meaning-making um, location, but also a meaning-making family. And you want opportunities where teachers can cheer on their kids can cheer on each other's, parents can participate. And we couldn't do that without the support of a national organization like the Bee.
We hope you'll bring this opportunity to your students this year and for many years to come. We'll keep the Q&A open for any questions about this information that I shared, but I'll pass it over to Tyler Hyde, the brand strategy manager here at the Bee, who will give you a step-by-step look at how to enroll your school.
Thanks, Kim. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. So now that Kim's given you a rundown of all the benefits the educators and students at your school will receive when you enroll in the Bee program, I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of how you can enroll. So it's a very simple process. Everything can be completed online, including payment of your school's enrollment fee, and then you'll have immediate access to the school portal, which is the password protected area of spellingbee.com, where you can find all of those great benefits that Kim just listed. And I will give you a sneak peek at that portal as soon as we run through the steps for enrolling. So give me just a moment to share my screen with you all. All right, here we go. Hopefully you are familiar with this. This is spellingbee.com. It's our official website, and it is where you can go to enroll your school. So first, you will want to click the Enroll button here at the top of the page, and that will take you to our enrollment page. This page basically lists all of the benefits that Kim just went through with you. You'll see our educator guide linked there. That's also a great resource for you. So if you leave this webinar thinking, what was that one thing that she was talking about? You can go right back to spellingbee.com and find it easily on this page. Also, a quick note is that if you are unsure about your school's enrollment status currently, you can scroll down the page and enter your zip code right here to check your school status. And that will let you know if you are already enrolled. So maybe there's an administrator or another educator who typically enrolls your school instead. Now, once you are ready to enroll, you're going to go back up to the top of the page and say enroll your school. If you did not enroll your school with us last year, you will need to fill out this registration form. So just a quick little form to let us know who you are and then say sign up. But if you did enroll your school last year, then you can use the same email address and password to re-enroll for this year. So you're going to go up here and say, click here to re-enroll for the new school year, and you will log in. I am going to do that really quickly. And okay, so if you have if you did enroll with us last year, this should be familiar to you. You will click right here, enroll your school, and that will get this process started. So here you'll see all the benefits to school enrollment listed right here, and you will click begin enrollment. The first step is finding your school in our database, and you can do this by entering the 5-digit zip code associated with your school's physical address. So I'm going to put in a zip code here and click the Save and Continue button. Now, step 2 is going to bring up a list of all the schools in our database that are associated with that zip code. So a few things to note about this page. You don't see it here, but in the same way that that tool that lets you look up your school's enrollment status does, this one will show you if your school is listed in green, it means it's already been enrolled in our system for this academic year. If it's highlighted in blue, it means that the enrollment process has been completed, but we haven't yet received your school's payment. So we are still pending payment for your school. And then if your school is listed, but not highlighted in any color, as all of these are here, that means that you can check the box next to your school name. I will be enrolling the very creatively named test school today. And we will continue moving forward. Now, one thing important to note, if you don't see your school listed here, you can do 2 things. So first, I would encourage you to go back and make sure that the zip code that you input does match your school. Sometimes we, have a little typo, or maybe your school has, your area has 2 different zip codes that are sometimes relevant, but do make sure, double check that that is the correct zip code for your school. And if you still don't see them here on this list, you can just click this link here to request the addition of your school. Basically, you just provide us with a little bit of general information about your school, and then within a week, our team will add your school to our list and contact you to let you know that you are all good to enroll. So again, I click the little button next to test school, and then I'm going to say save and continue. All right. Now, while we are thinking about, you had that big long list here. Let me go back really fast. You have this big long list of schools. I do just want to point out that our process does allow you to enroll multiple schools within one enrollment. So if you are representing a school district, or maybe you're an administrator for multiple elementary or middle schools, you can select multiple schools here and say save and continue and enroll all of them as part of one enrollment, pay for all of them together. That is something that you are able to do now through this new system. All right, so once you've selected your school from the list, you move forward to step 3, and that is just learning all about your regional partner. So obviously the zip code that I used was for Connecticut. So if we have any Connecticut educators in the audience, shout out to you. And the Noah Webster House and West Hartford Historical Society is the regional partner in that area. So this is good information to have as you're planning your school enrollment or your school spelling bee program. And you'll also be able to access all of this information within your school portal. But we like to show it to you here just so you're aware and familiar with who the regional partner is in your area. So I'm going to say save and continue. And then we are going to enroll our school. So in step 4, you are going to input the name and email address of the bee coordinator at the school that you're enrolling. So just as a reminder, that school bee coordinator is the person at your school who will have access to our online school portal. They have access to all of your school's resources, and that allows them to plan and administer your school spelling bee program. Previously, in the previous iteration of our enrollment, this step required you to fill in a ton of information that, depending on your role with the spelling bee at your school, you may or may not have had at your fingertips. So we have streamlined the whole thing. Excuse me. So basically right now you just need to fill in your school bee coordinator's information. And then when they first log into the school portal, they will fill out all the questions about what grade levels are take part in your bee, about how many students do you think, do you estimate will take part in your bee, questions like that. So, and I do just want to say, if you are the one who is the school bee coordinator at your school and you are also enrolling, you are welcome to put in your information, the same email, name and email address that you typically would, as part of that. So we are going to say that, and we'll click save and continue. I do just want to say, as we were talking earlier about enrolling multiple schools as part of one enrollment, if you are enrolling 10 or more schools, you will actually have the opportunity to download an Excel spreadsheet with all of this information. That way you can fill it out externally and then upload it into our system, just kind of making it as easy as possible for you to enroll multiple schools, because we know some of you have large districts that you're working with lots of different schools. And so we want to be sure that you are able to do that as easily and as quickly as possible. Okay, so here we go. At this point, we are almost done. Step 5 is the final step of enrollment. So on this screen, you will see the amount owed. So the enrollment fee this year is $199 for your entire school to participate. Before you can move forward with your payment, you will have to view and accept our terms. These are our terms of enrollment. So I will click I accept. It'll check that little box for me. And then we can decide how we're going to pay now. So you can either select pay by check or pay by credit card at the bottom of the screen. When you pay by credit card, you simply enter your credit card information through our secure portal, and click submit payment. And then once your payment goes through, your school bee coordinator will immediately have access to the school portal at spellingbee.com. If you'd like to pay by check, we absolutely can do that as well. You will download your invoice, which includes instructions for mailing your check to our national office. And just a little note there, I do want to flag that our process has changed a little bit this year. So if you've enrolled with us before, please do check out those instructions. Make sure you send it to our new address for submitting your check payment, so that we get your payment and we can get your school enrolled. There is a $7.50 check handling fee that will be included on top of your school's enrollment fee. And then your school will be listed as pending payment in our database until that check has been received and processed. That can take up to 10 business days, just depending. And once we have processed your check payment, your school will be listed as enrolled in our database, and you and your school bee coordinator will receive an email confirmation. And then your school bee coordinator will have full access to the school portal. So that is it. That's I'm not going to go through all the different ways to pay here, because we just walked through that. But that is it for the enrollment process. So now I am going to sign in to our school enrollment portal. And while I'm doing that, I do just want to make you aware that there is a video on our YouTube channel that walks you through that entire process. And then we've had a couple questions in the chat already about the recording of today's webinar. You will receive that recording via email in the next couple of days. So let me get back to sharing here so we can look at the school portal. So this should look familiar. We are back at spellingbee.com. And what your school bee coordinator is going to do is click this login button right here, and they will be taken to our login form. So give me just a moment to get myself logged in here. All right, so we are not going to go through every single thing in the school portal, but we will hit the high points and we will go through some tips too, and then we'll have time for questions. So previously we clicked enroll your school because our school is not enrolled yet. Now we can click enroll the school portal and it will give us access to the school portal. So, oh darn, give me just a moment. I need to, it's trying to take me to the school that I have not paid for yet, which is not going to let me see my pieces. Give me just a second. All right. Let me make sure that is, okay, give me just a moment. All right, so give me just a moment to get my test school enrolled really quickly because I didn't finish that enrollment process. But I am going to right now share. So as I walk through this portal today, we are going to be going based off of this, which is the school spelling bee checklist. I would absolutely go ahead and download this if you would like to follow along with me. Actually, you should just be able to see it in browser. So go ahead. I'm going to put that in the chat here. But this is a great resource that we provide to our schools that basically includes everything that you need to think about when you're planning your school spelling bee program. So that is, taking a look at your regional partners information, distributing your competition list to educators or the officials that will be working your school spelling bee, having a planning meeting about your school spelling bee, all sorts of things. And there are lots of things linked out from there as well. And that will allow you to it kind of guides you through how to most easily have a school spelling bee program. So let me get back in here now that that school has been enrolled for us. There we go. Thank you so much, Sibel, for doing that behind the scenes for me. Okay, let's do it. So this is our school portal. Previously, you saw the little bar that said pending payment. That is what will, if you decide to pay by check, that's what will pop up for you. But I'm just going to walk through a couple of these pieces. So we already looked at the regional program information that's attached to this school. A couple other things that you'll want to be aware of. So this regional program information is really great. Shows you date and time and location of the regional spelling bee in your area. But the things that you really want to look at are these deadlines and important dates. So that school level competition deadline, the school champion registration deadline, those are things that you're going to want to be aware of as you're planning your school spelling bee program. So let's see. If you log into your school portal and you don't see anything in here except for this little bit of contact information at the top, that just means that your regional partner hasn't yet completed this information, but we are working to get information listed for all of our regional programs by the end of the month. So we are working hard to make that available to you. The first thing that I want to share is over on this side. We've got our school level competition and you have your competition overview. So that includes links to this school spelling bee checklist. It also includes a link to Spelling Bee 101. That is a really comprehensive, you see the 28-page PDF. It's a very comprehensive guide that leads you through every single aspect of running a school spelling bee program. So I would absolutely encourage you to check that out. If you go a little bit further, you see Classroom Bees. This provides you with some information about hosting a Classroom Bee. So this includes These two tabs, Classroom Bees and School Bees, will include two of the main materials that you need for any type of spelling bee. So those are the study lists that your students should study and the competition lists for yourself or classroom teacher or your school spelling bee officials to use when conducting a spelling bee. Some of this information, I would encourage you to read through this. This is information that you can pass along to the classroom or grade level educators that will be hosting classroom or grade level bees. And for instance, you'll notice in here, one key piece to pull out is that typically we find that you don't need a full host of officials for a classroom or a grade level bee. Typically, the classroom teacher is able to keep track of their students through an oral spell down using our record keeping sheets, but they're able to sort of give the words and also judge for them. So if we go further down, you'll see the classroom competition list. That's broken up based on grade level. So your classroom teachers can find the section of the list that's most appropriate for their students. And then you see that at the classroom level, we have a lot of study lists, and that's because they are broken up both by grade level and by your competition structure. So that means if you plan to incorporate vocabulary within any level of your program, whether that's oral vocabulary, a written test, you should provide your students with the words and their definitions lists to be sure that they are preparing themselves for both types, spelling and vocabulary. And then down at the very bottom here, you see our school spelling bee study list. That is a 450 word list that encompasses all of those 8 grade levels. And it is what a classroom or grade level champion should study to prepare for the school bee. So as we move along, if you click on school bees, you see even more information here. Once again, you've got information about hosting a bee. You have some additional resources here, including a script template, some record keeping sheets, our suggested rules for spelling bees. And then while at the classroom level, we find that one teacher can act as pronouncer, judge, and record keeper, we do recommend that you have a few different officials for your school spelling bee. So that would include a pronouncer who pronounces the words for students and answers any of those approved questions that students can ask. We recommend at least one judge, but sometimes 2 or even 3 judges to determine if the words have been spelled correctly. A record keeper who uses these handy record keeping sheets to keep a record of your competition. They can also help judges render decisions, and they very importantly make sure your spellers don't go out of order to spell. And then if we go down here a little bit, you'll see we have our school competition list that those officials should use when administering their bee. And then if you go even further down, we again have the school spelling bee study list linked out here for you. And then we have an additional resource that is Words of the Champions. That is our regional study list. It has 4,000 words in it. And that is what your school champion should study as they move forward to whatever the next level of your competition will be. And then this year, I do just want to point out, Kim mentioned it earlier, but Words of the Champions at the end of it, along with having 4,000 words, has a lot of enrichment material this year. So we have some word puzzles and games. There's a lot of information on language patterns and roots this year. And we're really excited about that as a way for your students to get an even deeper understanding of language as they're learning their spelling bee study words. Okay. So before we move on to the Q&A portion, I've already seen some questions coming in, which is fantastic. We'll be excited to dig into those. I do just want to share a couple tips as you're thinking about your school spelling bee program. So first, we encourage you to take that school spelling bee deadline that's included that your regional partner sets, and then work backwards to plan your school's program. So for instance, if the deadline is January 30th, then maybe you plan to host your school bee 2 weeks before that, just to give yourself a chance to have that school spelling bee. Sometimes at that time of year, we have some weather delays or things like that. So making sure that we're preparing for anything like that. And then maybe you're looking 2 or 3 weeks ahead of that before the winter holidays. to have your classroom or grade level spelling bees. So basically just giving yourself enough time to hit that regional partner deadline while also giving your students enough time to study their spelling words and really gain that really deep knowledge of the words at each level. And then another tip that we have is that typically you should have no more than 20 to 25 students in your school spelling bee. That's just based on the way that our materials are constructed, excuse me, to make sure that it's fair across the board, that the leveling of the words is fair. And so because of that, it means that some of you may need to narrow down your competition, excuse me. And we have a couple different ways that you can do that. So we recognize that the spelling bee program is not a one size fits all endeavor. So we've put together 3 different ways that you can structure your school program. So there's the traditional method, the students advance from classroom or grade level bees to the school spelling bee. We also know of schools that do more of an opt-in method where maybe students are nominated by teachers or students volunteer or participate in an after-school spelling club, and those students are the ones who move forward to the bee. But then this year, Kim mentioned, we also have a host of new written test materials for you. So if you are looking to narrow down the number of students that participate, you would have your students take those written tests, and then those with the best test scores would move forward to your school spelling bee. And as she mentioned, those materials include instructions for your teachers to administer the test. They also include answer form templates for your students, and they include grading keys, and that's for 1st through 8th grade. And then also for your school spelling bee if you have a need to do a written test for that as well. So we recognize each school has its own bee traditions and ways that make the most sense for your educators and your students. I mean, I can just look at my own spelling bee experience as a kid, which was eons ago, but I grew up in Georgia, and for my elementary school, it was more of an opt-in method. So our gifted classes, our after-school groups, they would opt in to take part in the spelling bee. But then when I got to middle school, each class would administer a written test, and then the top student would move on to the school spelling bee, which was an traditional oral spell down. So no matter how you choose to structure your program, we have included the resources that you can use to bring those classroom, grade level, and school-wide spelling bees to life. And we're very excited to share all of that with you. So I'm going to bring Kim back, and she and I are going to chat through some of these questions. We do have a few minutes here at the end of the webinar. If you have any questions about enrollment, your school spelling bee program, specific questions about your resources, anything like that, please feel free to submit them to us, and we'll see how many we can get done in the next like 5 or so minutes. Let's see. Okay. So we have one question already, and that is, how do you suggest recording the answers to vocabulary questions? So that's a great question. I think it depends on how you're doing your vocabulary. So if you're incorporating your vocabulary as part of an oral spell down, on those record keeping sheets that I showed you where you can find previously, you can basically just write down the letter answer. So the way that our vocabulary questions are designed is that you'll have the question and then the answer choices. And so if you just do A, B, or C, write down next to the student's name, whichever one they answer, and then whether they got it right or wrong, you can do it that way. And then, like I said, for the written vocabulary, we do have the answer sheets all ready for you and a grading key. So that one is pretty self-explanatory. Let's see, what else do we have? I'm gonna have some more water. I'm got a little. Okay, what else are we seeing? Is there a way to preview our regional partner and pertinent deadlines before enrolling our school? Yes, absolutely there is. You can go to spellingbee.com. Let me put it in the chat. It's on our website. We have all of our regional partners listed. So if you go to spellingbee.com and then look at our current regional partners, there's another one of those little boxes where you can put in your zip code and find the regional program information for your area, for the area that your school is a part of.
And
What
keep in mind that even if your regional partner does not have all the information listed for their regional B, you can check back later and look for that information to be populated, as some of our partners are still kind of working out those details at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, that is a great point. Let's see. How long does it take for payment to go through? It does take about 7 to 10 business days just because we have to receive your check, we have to process your check. Our team has to take those processes and those process checks and put them into our database. So about 7 to 10 business days. And then you'll receive an email. Let's see. Sibel is already answering a bunch of these questions in the chat, which is lovely. Is there a way? Oh, nope, she already got that one. Okay. Just so I understand, the only way for students to participate is by enrolling your school and holding a whole school spelling bee. We would like kids to be able to access it out of school. We are a K through 3 building. Yes, correct. So in order to participate in the program, receive the materials, move forward a student to the regional competition, you do have to enroll your school. That is the first step of the spelling bee process. Let's see.
So Crystal's question about the school spelling bee involving people in the community to come and watch, maybe parents or other members of the community. I do think that an afternoon bee could be conducive to that. I know at my daughter's school, they have it first thing in the morning. And so that's good for the schedule of the school in terms of the students coming to watch, but there's not a whole lot of parents that get to come and watch. So I think an afternoon bee could make a lot of sense. And I think it is a neat experience for the kids, their classmates to cheer them on and other maybe younger, spellers to kind of look ahead and see what's next for them. So yeah, that's what I would say. If Tyler, I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that one.
No, I think that's a
Okay.
great point. And I think that one thing that we love about the B program, along with students being able to learn so much about words and language, is that it provides so many opportunities for student recognition. So I would just say that that's absolutely a part of it, is making your spelling bee a community event, inviting parents and students. And then there's also a variety of different certificates that are included. I should have shown those earlier within your school portal. So whether that's, for the most improved speller, or the best vocabulary answers, or there are just so many different recognition opportunities as part of the B. Let's see. We have one that's asking about who can we talk to for guidance about specific accommodations for spellers. I think that is a great question. We do definitely see the B as a program that can be used for a variety of students and a variety of abilities. So I think if you want to reach out to us at spellingbee.com/contact, you can fill out our customer service form, which that goes for everyone. But our customer service team can pass that along to our editorial team, who works specifically on our competition issues and questions, and they can provide you with some suggestions. Let's see. Any other questions that I'm seeing? Oh, I love that. We've also done Facebook Live, so teachers can show it in their classrooms and the community can see it wherever they are. That's great. That is wonderful. Let's see. Okay. Well, I don't see any additional questions. Oh, we just had one pop in, I believe. Let's see. Oh, okay. So follow up. What if student gives correct word answer but says the wrong letter in front of it? I do believe we go into this in detail in our suggested rules for spelling bees. If I am remembering correctly, as long as they say the correct word answer, it is correct. And again, we have our suggested rules for spelling bees, and then it is your school competition. The local officials have full autonomy over their spelling bee, the spelling bee that they're officiating. So if the student gives the correct word answer, if you believe that the student knows the correct answer, that is. But do read the bit on our suggested rules for spelling bees, because that goes into it a little more detailed, along with Spelling Bee 101. There's a bit about vocabulary in that as well. Let's see. When do you suggest that we give out the words of the champions? This is only our second year doing this, and we've gotten a late start each year. There may be only a short window of time between the school bee and the regional bee. So I would say that if you have students who have mastered the school spelling bee study list and are ready for words of the champions, even if they're not your school champion, you are welcome to give that resource to them. Words of the champions will also be available for parents to purchase for their students on Amazon. We are working through that right now to get that up and running. But so it's not something that you have to hold back if you have students that are eager and interested, especially knowing this year that we have all of that great supplemental material at the back of it. If you have a number of students who have an interest in learning more about words, who are really excited about the spelling bee, even if you haven't declared them as your school spelling bee champion, you are welcome to provide them with that list. So it's really up to you, because yes, 4,000 words is a lot of words to study. So the earlier that they start studying those for the regional competition, the better. And if they don't end up making it to the regional competition, they've learned a lot of cool stuff about words. So yeah, Roberta had a great point in the chat. Thank you so much. Anyone who wants to can always start using the Word Club app to learn the words of the champions words, because that is correct. The Word Club app is free to download and free to use, and it does include all of the words from our school level study list. So that's 450 words, as well as the 4,000 words that are in Words of the Champions. And those are two separate study lists this year. So that is a great point. Okay, wonderful. Well, I think we've kept you a little bit longer than anticipated. So I think, Kim, if you feel like that is, I don't see any other questions. So I will
I don't think
say
so.
adios and let you finish this off.
Great. Well, yes, those were so many great questions. And again, feel free to reach out to us at contact@spellingbee.com. Happy to answer any questions that you have. We hope that all of you will be enrolling in our program, and we're just so excited for the ways that your students are going to benefit from all the benefits of the Spelling Bee program. Um, so, let's see here. Yeah, so again, we are just excited for you all to enroll and reach out to us with any questions that you have, spellingbee.com/contact. And we are all giving students the words they need to shine their light on the world. So again, we appreciate your time today and have a great evening.